Yeah. So this happens. Uh, I just didn't think it was right not to come on and talk about it.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig
I'm sure most everybody out here is like myself. All right, let me just say, I don't want to draw this out too long. So, I guess I heard something the other day. I don't know who else has heard anything ahead of time, and now this is a super colossal surprise. If you haven't heard anything, it's a really super colossal surprise. Um, I had heard something the other day. I thought that I had heard that he had been in the video, and I heard something about him. I was certain I heard something about him in the mirror, which is kind of interesting. His from the solo album. So I didn't know if there was something about him falling into something. Um, it's all speculation. It's all whatever. I don't know. I did see a postman right after that. I had mentioned it to a couple of people. Um, to my friend about it and stuff like that. And then today we heard something right at the end of the show. I was talking to Christian Shields, and he said that he had gotten something. Ace was coming here to St. Louis. He had one of the shows before that, and then he was going to be playing here. Angel and Slaughter were going to be opening up. Playing the family arena. Well, from Angel, and was trying to see those guys there. And when then I saw this news that something happened in the studio, that he had stolen. The way I understood it, there was a mirror involved. I was like, I don't know what that all means. And then the next thing I knew, he had canceled the next show, I think, is what it was. And he had canceled the next show, and then I was like, well, okay, maybe they'll be on track for the or Ari this week. Make it sound like it was all the show. So then read a post from Eddie Trunk, what, a day or two after, and he said he knew what had happened, that he knew, and he wasn't going to be talking about our show. What had happened, and so today when Christian got that on his phone, he was talking about, you know, very a friend of mine and put it on a message from Variety, and they have a picture, and they got the date. It's there, 1935. So it's really, really fun. You guys, you guys have reached out to here, I don't know if they're going to jump in and join you here, but there's a gentleman that I did some things, some work with years ago. On him first to check in yesterday. I decided, can't go hold of one. He just, I don't even know if he knows it. I sent him a link as well, so I don't know if he's excited. This is an impromptu. Let me know. Especially after the Ozzy. That's just watch the Ozzy show. Just talked about it. Just reviewed the movie. Talking about that. And so I'm not sure if it was the fall. That was kind of interesting. They're talking about a fall, and that's kind of what I mean. He already had it. Making fall.
So yeah, um,
Yeah, evidently they're saying they're brain. So I mean, I don't know if they mean. I don't know if that means like aneurysm caused his issue. I don't know if he had an aneurysm that he was making it do. It doesn't lead me to want to share a bit of information that I had shared. Actually, I think for the Russ Ballard interview is kind of what I was. So we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to this information about the base that I found out there. His co-founder Frehley on life support brain bleed after scary fall. This is a report that was out there. A Frehley is reportedly on life support.
hold on. I'm sorry. Just trying to get this text right. Let's see what we got. The Kiss co-founder and original guitarist 74 is said to have suffered a brain bleed after taking a scary fall.
Although Frehley spoke out after the incident to cancel some upcoming tour dates, sources told us that his condition hasn't improved and he's been on a ventilator in recent weeks. The first caused concern last month after announcing that he couldn't make a performance in California scheduled for September 25th because he suffered a nervous fall in the studio that resulted in a trip to the hospital. He is fine, but against his wishes, doctors insist that he refrain from travel. So what's going on? Frehley then canceled the of his 2025 tour because of ongoing due to some ongoing has made the difficult decision to cancel the remainder of 2025 days. They made more headlines back in August, and the tour with six families were announced at the 2025. So then there's the thing from Rolling Stone. Let's see. Ace Frehley, the wild spaceman of Kiss, who played guitar in the band throughout their 70s, inspired, okay, died on Thursday, and more. Lori Frehley's rap attributed his death to a studio at home. Though the cause of death was not immediately available, we are completely devastated and heartbroken, Frehley's family said in a statement. In his last moments, we to have been able to with this. Grab this here. Okay, here we go. Wow. With loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth, we cherish all of his finest. On all of his incredible life to live on forever. In late September, yeah, he canceled the Antelope Valley Fair in Lancaster, California, after suffering a minor fall. So there you go. He is fine. Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley were the primary songwriters of Kiss. Okay. Yeah. So you can check out. This kind of talks about his past, but if you want. So yeah. Let's see if there's any last bits here that can be toward the end of the article. Let's see. Over the past 2 decades, Frehley toured heavily as a solo artist and played sets packed with Kiss classics. His most recent show took place last month. 2013 interview with Rolling Stone. Frehley spoke about the ardent devotion of the band. Have a lot of diehard fans, he said. Ace Frehley fans and Kiss fans are the greatest fans in the world. They've always been there for me. Ups and downs, roller coaster ride, but somehow I've always been able to land on my feet. I don't know what, let me share this with you though too. Of course, when it came to the solo album, maybe I did, but it's even more important to say it again. So when it came to the solo here was the breakdown again. Before. The Ace Frehley album, musical style is Frehley's album was guitar-driven hard rock and proved to be the most commercially successful before. Single, the Russ Ballard cover song, "Neon Blues" became the most successful single from the four albums, which is eight on the U.S. Billboard chart. But Paul Stanley was considered the most liked position of this record and featured all original songs. Well, when you think about that, Asian songs probably more of Asian stuff in the past, you know, the hit single, the single "Hold," "Think of Me When We're Apart" charted on the U.S. Billboard. This album is known for its incorporating elements of hard rock along with the album featured the single. Peter Chris, as far as his is concerned, it was a departure from his usual hard rock sound, focusing more on notable songs included "I Can't Stop the Rain." That's pretty much the way it is. So I don't know what your favorite memories on a Saboteur. Hey, how's it going? The audio is bad. It's muffled beyond belief. Great. See if I can do. Is that any better?
See if I can connect into this. I'm so sorry, guys. I wonder. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. I got an idea. Holy crap. I get it.
Okay. So, wow, I should just start over. But anyway, it's better now, I'm sure. Maybe, of course, maybe I ought to turn that back up a little bit. Wow, thank you very much for letting me know. And I'm so sorry about that. So now is it better, Saboteur? Is it a lot better now? Because you said it's a little better, but is it a lot better now? For some reason, my computer picked up on my headphones, not on the mic. And I did not check that closely enough. So it's on me. So yeah, where's everybody stand on that? Is it? Yeah, it's fine on your end now. Good. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that, man. So how'd you take that news today, Mike? Had you heard anything else? You and I talked the other day. Did we talk about this? Didn't we? A little bit? I'm trying to remember. If you want, I can send you a link and you can come in and talk with me here. If you want. But yeah, I don't, had you heard anything? That might be easier. I don't know if you've got time. Do you have time if I sent you one? Yeah, cool. All right, I'll send you one. Hang tight. Hang tight. I can do that. At least, yeah. Now you'll feel like you want to be on here since I don't sound like shit. Let me see if I can grab that. All right. Let's do that. And then I'll go here. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a day. There you go, brother. Man. Hopefully that'll work out. You'll be able to get in. So, Yeah, if anybody's got your this Ace, I had a chance. Obviously, you can see here and here. I had a chance to meet up with Ace years ago. I saw him live when he played out here at the Chesterfield Amphitheater with Stars and Angel, and then one of our local bands here, Conquest, was on it as well. Was on the bill, so that was cool. But yeah, so my friend Dave, I also sent the link to him as well if he makes it out here. Um, he and I did this podcast thing, and he had a convention, and it's there at one of those conventions that I met Ace, and it was funny because my friend um, John Ostrowski, who worked very closely with Ace for many years, and he was there. I didn't know he was going to be there, and we caught up a little bit, and then he got me in there to see Ace, and that's how that stuff happened. And Ace was really cool. It was really cool. Yeah, I heard about that. Yep. MTV is shutting down at the end of this year. I was going to be talking about that too, but maybe not tonight, but we can a little bit. I haven't watched MTV since the 80s. Yeah, it went downhill and I had nothing to watch. I was more interested in VH1. So, but MTV, that was a great place to see back then, to see videos like, we got to see Ace in his last videos that he did with them when they did I Love It Loud. And it was, you know, wild. I still watch videos on you. Yes, I know, dude. I was just looking at some videos today. In fact, that's probably what I ought to do is go out there and get. Um, I should I should get that Kiss video out there. Um, the one thing I thought was interesting too about Ace was I think what's one of the greatest things to me is what's become very popular now is and Mike, I hope that link is working for you okay, or if you're just trying to get to a spot where you can do that. Um, so when what was I going to say? Oh, shoot. What was I going to talk about? There was a moment where I was out there and I found this video of Kiss backstage. It had a bunch of stuff from when they did the reunion stuff, I think is what it was. And Ace is out in the hall, and I use it on my opening video. Whenever I show that, and it's got Ace standing outside of the dressing room, full makeup. He had been talking with some people out in the hallway, and he goes, "Where's Stewart?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" So I talked to Richie Rano a while back, and he told me that Stewart is somebody that he had worked with, and he suggested to the band to be on the road with them. Watch music videos by OK Go, even if you're not into their music. It's fantastic. Okay, go. I will do that. I think I wonder if you told me about them before, or somebody's mentioned them. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of I found a bad copy of that, but hey, buddy.
Hey man, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I certainly can.
Okay. Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties because the um phone was connected to the computer and I could not figure out how to.
I've yeah, I've
Yeah.
I obviously just had that where my phone these headphones, I like them, but boy, they suck up the all of a sudden they're the ones that want to be heard, oh, well, I'll be
Oh yeah, of
connected.
course.
I'm like, settle down. So somehow it overdid my interface microphone.
Well, as you can see too, knowing that I was going to come on to the Hammer Away show tonight, I put on my Sunday best, and you know,
See? You look
I
great.
shaved I shaved everywhere,
I
even the
feel
nether regions.
underdressed.
Yes, as you should. But wow, what a day.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
had you heard anything earlier at all? Had you heard about this fall in the studio or anything?
I did not hear about the fall in the studio. I did not know how
Okay.
things happened.
Yeah.
Um, all I know is that I got a text from someone, a source who shall remain nameless,
Sure. Yeah.
today had just said, yeah, just heard from a very reliable source, and I know who his source is.
Yeah.
That Ace had passed, and I was
Yeah.
just I was like, oof. Yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
for me, growing up, and for all of us, I mean, this is the guy that was like he was, you know, to sound, I guess, not to be too, overstate the obvious, but he was an icon, and I think
Yeah.
he was a guy that essentially made all of us. I don't think he made, well, in my case, he made me. But whether he realized it or not, pick up a guitar and start playing,
Yeah.
and he inspired a bunch of kids to
Yeah.
become great. And I think you look at the '80s music scene, you look at the guys that were popular.
Yeah.
Most of these guys just grew up massive Kiss fans. So
Absolutely.
it's soul
Absolutely.
crushing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
And I
I
think
met
he
him.
was.
Go
Did
ahead.
you meet him? You met him?
I did, and it's one of those things where it wasn't the best meeting for me.
Mm.
It was kind of, but at the same time, it's like, you know what, not not really that important right now. He was still my idol even
Yeah.
after, and
Yeah.
quite honestly, just he was someone to look up to, and his guitar playing for me. A lot of people would feel this way about Eddie Van Halen, and rightfully so, because he reinvented the way a lot of guys play guitar. For
Right.
me, Ace Frehley, he may not have invented the way people play guitar, but he was just that iconic. He is up there in that echelon with guys like that simply because of who he was and what he achieved.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of, especially for a lot of people these days, he was. Um.
By the way,
I
thank you for inviting me on.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah. I'm just like there are certain people that I thought of that I'm like, I need to send out some links to some people, and if they want to pop in, then
Yeah,
you know, that's cool. But I think he's, especially like I say today, he is one of those folks that people, they might not know about it. They may
mm,
never hear about it. They may never read about it, but he's one of these guys that was a little different. And
yeah,
he didn't show up in a suit, or he showed up at the tryout for Kiss with two different shoes on.
yeah. An orange and red Converse Chuck Taylor.
Yeah. And and didn't give a shit, and didn't worry about what he was going to play. He's like, I'll just play,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
I'll just show up and play, and these guys are either gonna love me or they're not. Kind of.
Yeah.
And well, they loved him, and
Yeah.
it's really, there are people out there that are absolute, just masters of knowledge on Kiss.
Mhm. Mhm.
They were my favorite band growing up. They're still my favorite band, but I am not the guy that knows like every last little, detail about what's happened with this person at this particular time.
Right.
They could lift the. They don't need to lift up the rock and be like, "Where are we at under a rock?" No, I know everything. I'm all knowing. I'm like, I mean, you have people that would, if they had a Kiss Trivial Pursuit, that would just whip your ass 8 different ways to
Oh,
Sundays. I'm
yeah.
not that guy, but
Yeah.
man, you do remember some of the tidbits and some of the information, and
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Well,
he was different.
you and I probably know enough. Now, this is my big joke. You and I probably know enough to keep us from being abducted, because if anybody ever yanked me off the street and started driving down the road, I'd be like, "Hey, so do you guys know about Kiss? So this band, and they had this guy, and then they were gone, and then they got this guy," and they'd be like, "Shut the hell up! Just drop him off."
Yeah, it's like the running joke when, like, it's almost like the running joke when my kid was little. She was kidnapped, so we get the ransom call, and you're like, yeah, how you doing? How much you gonna pay us to take her back? Yeah, because we know she's driving you crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, that's I there's a lot of, when I talk about Kiss, there's a lot of people that go, "Oh, geez, you know a lot about music." And you're like, "Well, yeah,
Mm.
it just
Well, you have a podcast. It's part of what you do.
it is
You
part of
know,
what I do." Yeah, it is.
aside from being, the extreme gamer. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
which
yeah, yeah,
grown men playing video games until all hours of the morning. I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let
yeah.
that
I
go.
mean, who would do that?
But
I don't know who would do that.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Salvatore, man. It's good to have you here tonight. Here's this is when I met up with Ace
Hmm.
um,
Oh, that's
years
recent.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
and
too
yet
not
it
too
was
many
still
years ago.
back in 2013, I think, is what it was.
Oh my goodness, really? Was that long ago, that album?
Y- yes,
I just, oh my
yeah,
gosh, wow,
I know,
man,
right?
we're old.
Anomaly came out in 13 or before 13.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
That's that's one of those albums, and it's like, I really did. There's some of the stuff that he did like a little later
Hmm.
on in his career that I really wasn't, it really didn't hit me as much as I'd like, or strike me my fancy as much as I
Right,
liked it, would have liked it to. But I think
right.
Anomaly, if I remember correctly, was an album that I kind of got into at the time.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I think it's one of those albums, along with a lot of those Euro bands, when I would listen to them, and I would say, I can do this. And at the time, I hadn't played my guitar in about 15 years. And I remember taking out, I have a Washburn Ace Frehley,
Mm.
and I remember taking it out and looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, the strings might need to be changed on this one. It was,
Yeah.
now my Case Queen didn't matter. It was just those strings were old. Oof, it was frightening.
Did you ever think about, or did you ever, as a kid, put on the makeup?
Oh, of course. Who hasn't? At
I
one,
did Eric Carr to go to the Kiss
mhm,
concert, but
okay.
I didn't do Ace Frehley. It was never Ace was, he's not the one I chased. I was always the Gene Simmons guy,
Well, you
which
were a
is
bass player.
yeah, I'm bass player, but I wasn't back then. Um,
But Gene was
but
your guy, and he probably
but it
inspired
spoke
you
to
to play
me.
bass.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
every time he, got up on stage and sang about underage women. Yeah,
yeah. That's still a little creepy.
you know,
That's yeah,
you're.
but I did marry a Christine,
I was
so
gonna say, and your wife's name's Christine. So,
yeah.
at some point during your life, did you ever go, Christine? Yeah, you know. But I can't really do the
She must
belt
have
right
heard me
now.
after all those years.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah,
But yeah,
we
for
we used to
me, it
kid
was
about
Ace.
that. Yeah.
I remember being, first Kiss show that I saw was 1979, 1980 was the Dynasty tour.
Hmm.
I had just graduated from one, two, three, four, fifth grade,
Wow.
and my cousin Laura and I went. My mom bought me the tickets, and since she couldn't go, she asked my favorite cousin Laura, who was a big rock and roll girl at the time. I mean,
Wow.
she was not a big rock and roll girl, but she
Right.
was like big, big into rock and roll.
Yeah.
Um, and she went with me, and the tickets were amazing. They were just to the right a little bit, and so we were right in front of Ace Frehley, and it was like
Yes.
fourth row back. And for me as a kid, idolizing Ace Frehley, yeah, it was just, row D, and it was just, so it was like, it was just amazing for me. It was like that was like heaven.
Yeah.
I've seen a few people up close and personal like that. I've seen Ace like that a couple of times. I actually saw him at the Fantasy Theater in Cleveland, Cleveland, Ohio,
Yeah.
in 1987. I think 1987, when Frehley's Comet came out,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so I'm front row and center.
Wow.
Me and all of my weightlifting buddies, we kind of. I don't want to say that we pushed our way to the front, but we pushed our way to the front. and, and we had a good old time.
Well,
So,
now, what what is one of your classic Kiss favorites Ace songs?
oh well, gosh,
I
there's
mean,
quite a few.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
everybody's favorite is probably "Shock Me," and I think that just comes from,
yeah.
Kiss Alive to the guitar solo at the end. My first band,
Yeah.
which was called Passion, used to play that song,
Wow.
and we would play "Shock Me," and then at the end of I would do like my rendition. Which was probably at the time not anywhere nearly as good as Ace's, but I would do my rendition of his guitar solo. and all little, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds that were going to the shows that we played with, you know,
Yeah.
you thought you were
Yeah.
like the greatest thing ever. But I'd say that for sure. And then, oh gosh, of course, Rocket Ride's cool. His whole entire solo album was badass.
Yeah, because
Um,
he did Parasite. I used to play that live.
yeah, yeah, that was his tune. He didn't
Yeah,
sing it, but it was his Cold Gin's his
correct.
tune, but he didn't sing it. And we did Cold Gin. That was our closing song. I remember
Oh
that.
wow.
But yeah, we were Kiss fans. There's 3 Kiss songs in our set. So
Yeah, they have Torpedo Girl on this list. That's one of my still. I love that song.
it's probably, one of the better songs off of Unmasked, which,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
at the time, from what we're all to understand now, Ace really wasn't happy with the direction of the band because they were getting softer. And so that was, part of the reason, I guess, that he wanted to leave because he wanted to do his own thing. He had the
Yeah.
success from his solo album and he wanted to do something a little heavier. And Kiss was,
Yeah.
at that point, I guess Paul was more about a little bit of the poppy side, somewhat of the disco side, and
Yep.
Ace wasn't really having it.
No.
So
Yeah.
I remember being crushed when I found out that Ace really didn't play on Creatures of the Night.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, what? His picture's on it. I'm like, why why is his picture on it if you didn't play on it? I mean, I kind of
Yes,
get
and
Peter,
mm-hmm.
yeah, there's historically a lot of drummers that haven't played on the record,
Right.
Like this. I'm not a studio bass player. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the guy you
You're
want
the
coming
live
in
guy.
and doing the recorded, but I'm the live guy. But I could become more of a studio person if I worked at it harder. But I mean, so we've heard that over the years, like Fred Coury, and
Mm-hmm.
others, where they'd bring in somebody else to do that on the
Yeah,
drum stuff because it's got to be tight, it's got to be on.
yeah.
But when but when you got the guitar player and you're like, of course,
Well, and the
you
reasons were
know,
different. So it
yeah,
wasn't like he
yeah,
couldn't play. It's just, they at the time he could play, just the time he could not.
hmm
So I
right,
mean, I'm not getting
yeah,
into the reasons why or anything like that. We all
right,
know.
right,
But man, that was devastating. But like I said, guy was absolutely, for me and for so many other people, just an absolute. He's the guy. He's your first guitar hero. For most
yeah,
people our age, Ace Frehley was their first guitar hero.
yeah,
Um, he's still my number. Well, I can't say well, still up there with the number one, number two. He's still
right,
there.
right.
Um,
I mean, you have an
but
echelon, so I mean, there's, it's
yeah,
like,
there's
you
an
know,
echelon. The echelon is Ace Frehley, John Norum, Key Marcello, Reb Beach. It's funny because then you listen to all those other guys, and those guys are just like ridiculously talented. Doug Aldrich.
yeah,
The only time I think I've ever fangirled in front of somebody really bad was when I met Doug Aldrich. He's like the nicest guy in the
he is
world.
the nicest guy.
And he just sees my shirt says "Rating the Rock Vault," and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, man," and it hears me. I'm like, "Oh, Doug Aldrich just pointed at me." Oh, 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 you know.
I could see you doing that.
Then I meet Ace, and Ace is like, I'm all humble, pulling out my Ace Frehley guitar, and he's like, "I don't sign guitars." Okay, we're
Hey,
good. Let me
yeah,
get that back.
I was just checking.
Just yeah, I was just testing you, buddy.
Right.
That's all I was doing.
I was seeing if you were the real Ace Frehley.
I wanted to know, is this the real Ace Frehley, or is this some type of counterfeit right here? Now that
You
I
go,
know, because you said you don't sign guitars, I
that's
think
it.
we're okay. But
Yeah, I was very thankful when my I found my buddy was at the Ace Frehley um appearance at my friend's convention. And then
mhm,
his, like right hand man has been John Ostrowski for so many years. And there he was. And I'm like, John, what do you, he goes, say bass talk, what's going on? And I was like, this is crazy. You're here. I was just in line, just getting ready. I was checking the prices, what I wanted to get signed. He goes, come over here, and
that's
then
right.
he got me in. I went in with the guy from Walking Dead.
Oh,
The one where he was
the
the
one that
season.
looks like Mark, the one that looks like Mark Bowles.
No,
You know what I'm
this.
talking about, right?
mm, It was the third season where they were at the prison, right? I think.
Don't I had no idea. I don't watch The
And so then
Walking
there
Dead.
were some guys that were in the prison,
Hmm.
and there was I don't know if he's a Hispanic guy. He's but anyway, he Rick puts an axe in his head. He puts a hatchet in his head,
Well,
and
that sounds really nice.
yeah, and that had just happened when right before he was at this convention, and so
Mm,
there he was. He showed up. I go, "Hey, you're the." Oh, I'm really sorry, man.
yeah,
And he goes, "It's all right." And so then we both went in together and stood
you the
next to
guy
these
that
guys
just
who were
died.
like, I don't know, they were massively tall security guys, and so we were the two short guys standing next to. Of course, he was taller than I was, but
Mm.
yeah. So then that's where we went in and
So
did
let
that.
me ask you a question.
Hmm.
And did you like? Are you more of a fan of the Kiss Ace or the Fraley's Comet Ace or the solo stuff after Fraley's Comet, like where he dropped the moniker Fraley's Comet?
Um, Probably the Kiss
Mm,
and then the latter. Like this 10,000 volts album is pretty cool. I like it.
hmm. Okay.
Um, and so it would probably go Kiss, and then it would go the newer Frehley stuff after the Frehley's Comet stuff.
Wow.
Just just because personally I loved his guitar playing, but I'm a singer, and I just there
Hmm.
were moments where I'm like,
Yeah, I had the great distinction of meeting Todd Howarth on several occasions,
gotcha.
and a few, at least a few for sure. I've seen him
Mm-hmm.
at the oh my gosh, it probably like 4 or 5 times now at NAM,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of times at the whiskey. Just here and there. You just
Yeah.
run into the guy, nicest guy in the world. I got to tell you, I think I'm probably going to be in the minority because I love this Kiss stuff, but I love the stuff that Ace did with Fraley's Comet, whether he was
Mm-hmm.
singing on it or not. There's like
Mm-hmm.
one song that just kind of gets under my skin, and other than that, I think they're all pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it's that Dolls song. I can never, ever, ever really just wrap my head around that. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that stuff. Then it's probably the Kiss stuff, and then after that, it's probably the stuff that he started doing a little later on, like
Yeah.
Trouble Walking. I like Trouble Walking. That's a good album too. I
Yeah.
dig
I
it.
think that's one of them that I have over there on CD.
Yeah,
I didn't collect those. He covered "Do Ya" by
yeah, the
ELO.
ELO song. It's a great
Yeah.
tune.
Yeah.
Covered
And
that, and then I don't know. I can't remember who wrote "Hide Your Heart." Was it Paul and
it's a couple of people. I think it was is Paul and why can't I say his name? Holly Knight and Desmond
Desmond
Child.
Child? Yeah,
I think it was he and Desmond that did that one. Maybe
yeah.
Holly was on that too. But
I
everybody
kind of
did that
liked.
frickin'
I kind of like
song.
Ace's. Yeah, everybody did. I kind of like Ace's version of that the most.
Is that
Um,
right?
yes,
Because
yeah.
Kiss did it, Ace did
They
it,
made they made a
Robin
video
Beck
out of
did
it.
it, Cher did it,
Yeah.
Molly Hatchet did it,
Oh well, there you go. I got to
and
hear the I got to hear the Danny Joe Brown version of that then
oh
for sure.
yeah, yeah. Because I think it was when Danny Joe Brown was back. Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, he sang it um,
Yeah,
before he
love that
passed.
guy.
Yeah, me too. He's my go-to guy. Like when it's too that note's too high, I gotta
Hmm.
we gotta do that, and
Oh yeah, got
yeah.
to do bop, bop, yeah.
When I
Hmm.
do
For sure.
when I do Judas Priest, whenever I would do you've got another thing coming, and I get to that bridge, and he
Hmm.
does that one thing that goes that I can't do, and
Yeah,
that's when I'd pull the Danny Joe Brown.
there's nothing wrong with little Danny Joe Brown, man.
Oh, Christine says hi, Mike. Great to
What
see
up?
you.
Just tell her I
So
said yeah. I
you
could
just
actually
did.
do. I could actually do the whole Gene thing like that. I'm just not doing it now because I don't want to really
Uh huh.
uh,
Yep. Yep.
I'm saving my voice for later for when I have to do some vocal tracking.
So there.
Yeah, because you know I'm such a great singer that yeah.
Well,
You've heard the demos. There's definitely a reason I'm the guitar player in every band and not the singer. So
are you slipping into the Dio line? Is that what you're doing? Guitar
the deal,
players play guitar, singers sing, and guitar players play guitar.
maybe, but
You can't. You
could
just
be,
can't say that.
but oddly enough, it's really weird when you're the guitar player and you know, oh, you need a melody line. Okay, I'll get that done for you too. Not a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, yeah, but yeah,
Oh man.
but it, it's just that's why I admire guys like Ace. Ace was not like wasn't the world's most melodic singer. He had that punk delivery,
He
uh,
did.
but
He
but
did.
he but he sang, and what he
Yeah.
sang, he pulled off quite well. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
you've got guys like Dave Meniketti that could
Yep.
sing anything, or maybe like young John Norum that could do the same. Uh,
Sammy Hagar.
so, oh my gosh, yeah,
Man.
Sammy Hagar is a singer who happens to play guitar, and he happens to be
Right.
really, really good at it.
Right. Right.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
Ace was really great for what he did. It was a style that was all his own.
Mm-hmm.
There was no polish there. It was just like, you're going to
Nope.
get what you get, and
Yep.
you either like it or you don't. If you don't like it, you can ingest a satchel of Richards because I don't care. And
Well,
yeah,
that was the first time he sang, right? Was on
Shock
uh,
Me was
was
the first
Shock
time he
Me.
sang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was the B side to Christine 16.
Christine 16. Yeah,
Yeah. Because I was like,
and
I flipped over the single. I'm like, what?
yeah, because they wanted him to sing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that you have to love about
Yeah.
a band like Kiss is they wanted every single person to take a turn at the microphone.
Yep.
They wanted everyone to be the lead singer. They wanted everyone to be the star.
Yep.
Whatever happened over the course of time, irrelevant. The
Right.
intention that they had was noble and it worked.
Absolutely.
And I kind of wish more bands I've tried to do bands like that, and tried to start bands like that, and you can't. And it's just a shame because you have a tough time finding people that really just all want to be a part of something like that, where everyone can
Yeah.
kind of have their opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
kind of
why I
working on
admire.
a side band that's available.
Mm,
So
yeah, very cool.
hopefully that
It's
hopefully that
your
works out.
your side piece, as you're saying.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay. You've got a side piece. I have
The
no
side.
side
I'm on
pieces.
I got the motorcycle with a sidecar. I got the main
No.
band on the motorcycle, and I got somebody in the sidecar, just like
I
on
I simply have
Where
a
Eagles Dare.
two-seater. I simply have a two-seater. That's all there is. Steel City, Love and Chains, both
Yes.
equal. And,
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to be surrounded by, some amazing singers and some good people. Um,
Absolutely.
so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
and
And
it,
then of
it,
course the other song that I think about too was Rocket Ride as a great song. I
oh,
like
yeah,
that better than Shock Me,
a lot of
but
people do.
but then he had um I mean there's the solo record. And I the one thing that really gets me on this is I just went to this. What is it? What's the actual name of this website? Is it VCR or um
I have no idea.
Classic
Uh,
Rock and Culture is
oh,
what it is. Top 10 Ace Frehley Kiss songs.
oh,
And then
Ultimate
they
Classic Rock. Is that it? Is that where you're at?
so it is UCR Ultimate
Yeah.
Classic Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, UCR.
UCR.com.
Yeah.
I
And
might as well go on and look at it while I'm
oh
here.
yeah, it says it up there at the top. Um but it's got Torpedo Girl, then it's got Strange Ways, then it's got Rip It Out, which I kind of understand, but that's solo. So I'm like, I get it. It was on a Kiss solo album, but let's stick to, if you're going to do it as Kiss songs, leave it as Kiss albums.
Does it say
Um,
Kiss songs on it?
it's at the very top. It says um, top 10 Ace Frehley Kiss songs.
That's the Ace Frehley because I'm looking for it. And
Yeah.
my phone's kind of sitting in front of my computer.
Oh, I got
Uh,
you.
so if it says top whatever, let's see, members pay tribute, rockers react. Is it below that? Top 10 Ace Frehley Kiss songs. Yeah, they probably
Yep.
should have put a slash there. Ace Frehley slash Kiss songs.
Right. I mean,
I
I
get,
get it,
but that's
but
semantics, man. I think you're kind of really being nitpicky there. If I
well,
do
but
say
what
so
the
myself.
reason I say it that way is because you want to.
You want to differentiate between the two?
I was just going to use that word. Yes, you want to differentiate. So when you're going through, you're like, oh, so is the only ones that he did Parasite and Into the Void and Dark
Yeah,
Light and Torpedo Girl and Strange Ways? Is that the only ones that he did? And Cold Gin? And then they put New York Groove in. He didn't even write that song.
that's Russ Ballard.
Yeah.
But it's considered an Ace song
And it's
because
got Shock Me. They could have replaced New York Groove with Rocket Ride. They could have replaced Rip It Out, which that one is okay because it's a Kiss solo record, but they could have replaced Rip It Out with what else am I thinking? The uh, oh crap, what's the one from Dynasty that I love?
hard
Hard
times.
Times.
Yeah.
I love that song.
See, for me, that wasn't like a heavy
Save Your
hitter for me.
Love.
That's a good song.
I mean,
But I will say this much. It does mean it could have been Fractured Mirror. It could have been, the intro to Rock Bottom.
yeah,
Be,
right.
because that's the song that, he wrote the intro. Paul wrote the rest of the tune.
Yeah,
And, it's a shared writing credit. There's nothing wrong there. I think it just depends on, your view. For me, he had so many great songs that were solo. They could have actually done two lists. They
right,
really could have.
right,
And
right.
it's so they could have, or they could have just made top 20 Ace Frehley slash Kiss songs because there's more. There's more than that.
Exactly. Yeah,
And you can include the ones that he didn't really write, the ones that he just played. That's fine because they have his mark on them.
yeah.
That's like if I kick the bucket tomorrow,
Mm,
somebody wrote the top 20 songs or the top 10 songs that Mike Flores played.
hmm.
Maybe one of them would be Back on the Streets by Vinnie Vincent. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so I mean, stuff like that doesn't. I don't get too deeply involved in stuff like that or too deeply offended by it.
I
So
just
lighten up, young man. Lighten
well,
up.
yeah, yeah,
Lighten
right.
up, Francis.
Yeah. I just for me yeah, it's just one of those things where you're like, okay, do you not know all of the things that he did that he wrote? That's what it looks like to me. It looks to me like they don't understand. They don't get it. They didn't research it enough to know,
I
you
don't
know.
know, man. You're talking about something that is called ultimate classic rock. So I'm sure they have some crack specialists on their staff that know Kiss or that love Kiss.
Well, they definitely
And
have crack. So,
well, when you're good, they call
I
you Cracker Jack.
right.
So
And I think Ace would be really happy that I'm making a joke about that right now. I mean, I think one of the
probably.
greatest things about the history of Kiss right now is the
Mm.
fact that so many people now know more about that Tom Snyder interview and
Oh yeah,
have
where he
had the
was just
chance
like
to get.
completely hammered.
Oh my god, that was but you know what? The thing about that is he held it together.
Oh
He
yeah,
he was on point. He never anything that he did in that. Yeah, it may have been
I
he
bet.
felt pretty loose and he let it
Yeah,
flow. But
you think?
damn,
Do you
did he
think?
ever he flowed right on. I mean, it was
Yeah,
perfect. And
he
and
did.
for no other reason than to see Simmons squirm.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Paul's somewhere in between. You're looking at Paul while Ace is just laughing his ass off with Snyder, and we're all laughing our asses off.
Paul was probably just thinking to himself in his head, will there be donuts or cake afterwards? Will we have something to eat? Yeah.
No, ice cream.
Yeah. You never know, man. But
But I just love being, feeling like I'm more a part of that, because I missed that interview back in the day,
mm,
but
oh,
seeing,
I think it was on the Tomorrow Show, was it not?
I think that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
Damn.
it's brilliant. If you haven't seen it, folks, if you haven't seen it yet,
Oh, it's worth the
still,
watch.
God, it's
It's
worth the
worth it's
watch.
worth the watch. But what really kind of makes you understand that you are old? You remember that there was a show called The Tomorrow Show.
I know, right?
There's today and then there's tomorrow.
Yes, and then tonight.
Yeah, and we could rock all day.
Yeah.
We could roll all night. There you go.
So yeah, so it's interesting though. But it is great though to look back on that and just see this guy who just floated in. He came from the streets and not a great place. I was kind of
Yeah.
interested to find out through just the beginning of his book where he's talking about, um, because oddly enough, I started watching. Oh, what did I start watching? Um, Force 10 from Navarone. I just
Oh
started
wow.
watching that. I remember getting
Mm.
into that when it was on cable, when we first got cable, and Harrison Ford is in
What
it, and
in like 1980? What?
79, 80. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
remember the movie from being like when a little kid. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it was right after, it was 78. Sorry, 78, because I was telling Christine, I said Harrison Ford did this right after Star Wars and,
Hmm.
before Empire Strikes Back. And she said, well, or did they film them at about the same time? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Because, I get it. They could have filmed a little earlier and then they put it together and released
Yeah,
it in
it's
78.
she's asking that question. Like, okay, quiz master, thanks a bunch.
Yeah,
Uh,
no shit. No shit. But I was watching that, and there's a gentleman in that movie who was also in the movie The Wanderers.
mm,
And in The Wanderers, do you remember The Wanderers? Did you see that?
no, I
Oh,
probably did. I
you
probably did, but
okay.
it's
Well, if you haven't seen it, a good double feature would be The Wanderers and then The Warriors. But
oh well,
uh,
yeah.
yeah. So The
We know
Wanderers,
that we know that I've seen the Warriors.
oh hell yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
something
But
about
there's
that intro you got.
yes, that's right, that's right. Hell yeah, can you dig it? And
Can you dig it?
and I felt kind of bad playing that tonight when I was starting this. I was like, should I not do that? I don't know. But anyway, in that movie, there's a group called the Ducky Boys,
Hmm.
and it's a badass, kooky gang. And he said he was a part of that. They were kind of a gang of remnants. They were just,
You mean
you know,
Ace? Was
yeah.
Ace a
Ace
part of
says
the
he was,
Ducky
yeah.
Boys?
He's like, if you ever seen The Wanderers, then yeah, that's the gang I was in, yeah. So I was
Wow.
like, shit, I've seen that, and I know what you're talking about.
I
Um,
was I myself was in a gang. It was called
really,
it was called the Lone Wolf. By yourself.
I
I
had
had
a
a gang
gang
by myself. I had a gang by myself. It was
by
called
myself.
the
I was a
Lone Wolf.
gang of one,
That's right.
and I got my ass kicked every time.
That's right. Depending on what neighborhood I went into, they only beat half of me up.
Yeah,
But
should have seen the other guy.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
But anyway, man, thank you for the invite. I'm gonna hop off because I've got to
yeah,
go do some
I think I'm
stuff.
gonna
But
close it up here too, and then if anybody's got anything, let me know in the comments below. Check out Mike Floros. He's got great stuff with Steel City and Love in Chains, which is influenced by the song
yeah,
from.
maybe we should actually do that song. Maybe we should actually cover that.
Yeah, and then you should have me do some background vocals.
Of course. Why not? That would be
Why
cool.
not? Yeah, I would. I'll fly out and do background vocals, and I'll
Oh.
make you cookies.
Yeah, you could hold on that last part. I'm only gay on Tuesdays. I'm kidding.
Oh, damn. I guess we know what day I'm recording.
Tuesday. Hey
Tuesday.
sailor.
Oh,
Hey
wait.
sailor.
I do have something. I got one last thing I got to show you.
Sure.
If I can get it in here. It's okay. So you know Trick or Treat, right?
The movie.
Yeah.
I've seen like bits and pieces of it. I've never really seen it all the way through.
Oh, really? Okay.
Truthfully, yes. I
All right.
know I should be like taken out back and someone should kick the shit out of me, but
Yeah, having that one half beaten the crap out of again from your
right.
gang of one.
Yeah, it beat me half to death. There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, I've got it. And I just watched it the other day, and there was one part in the middle of the flick after he gets the best of the jocks that were bugging him, and giving him crap, and I don't know. He just did something. You can watch the film, or I'll send you a little snippet, and you can see it. We'll talk about it next time we talk.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
love
just
the way those.
it,
Love the way those
it
80s
didn't make
movies
sense
just.
to me now. I just saw it again, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Wow.
So, anyway.
Well, it's because they painted all the jocks in the 80s with a broad brush, thinking that all of us were assholes. But,
it's sometimes yeah, I know. I was fine with that. I was an athletic guy.
I was an athletic supporter.
I mean, that works, right? Because you're jocks.
You remember the movie? I think it was Grease. If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter. I think that was that. I think that was from Grease, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, that was Eve Arden that said that, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she said over the speakers, and you're like, really? That's not it. So,
rock on.
way to go, girl. Way to go.
At least you didn't say "you go, girl." That's saying, I don't know. That's right up there with what's the new one? Let's go. Oh
yeah. And bra.
What up, bra?
Item of clothing. I'm not an item of clothing. I used to tell my students that all the time. Bra.
What up, Brazier?
I don't know what that means.
What up?
I still love though that I got to talk about Kiss because some kid said I had Riz. You mean
okay?
You mean charisma? Is that what you're saying?
Charisma. Yeah. What is mine?
And the best part was his friend still saying that's not where it came from. I said Kiss sang about it in '79, dude. Try to get over it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
Man. Peace.
Have a good one. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it, man.
Rest in peace, Mr. Frehley.
And yes, absolutely. Everybody, take it easy. Remember, you step out your door every day. You're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours, so act accordingly. Especially when you're driving. Think about your other drivers.
Have the day you deserve.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take it easy. We'll see you.
Peace.